IVM.
You are the most valuable investment you will ever make. Hi, I'm Zarina Poonawalla, your leadership coach, life coach, and emotional intelligence coach. You probably know me from the Empowering series, and this is my new show, the Life Manifesto with Zarina Poonawalla. I'm going to coach you to be the best version of yourselves. So get ready to create, attain, and manifest the life you've always desired and make it your reality. Hans Christian Andersen. Have you heard this name before? I'm sure not, but he was a legendary Danish writer, and many of you may not know this. So some trivia for you here. He has been the creator of fairy tales like The Little Mermaid and The Ugly Duckling. And one of his very famous yet lesser known works is The Emperor's New Clothes. Now this story, I'm not sure how many of you remember it. If you do, then you might recollect it. And if you don't know the story, then you can give it a listen now, because we're going to extract some leadership lessons out of this legendary tale. So here's how the story goes. There lived an emperor many years ago, and he was extremely fond of being well-dressed and splurging on himself. He bought himself the best things available. He just adorned himself with jewels, looked after himself really well, but was very self-obsessed. He didn't quite care for his people, and he didn't even pay attention to his soldiers or staff, or even the kingdom for that matter. In fact, he had a court for every hour of the day. So in those days, during kingdoms and empires, when somebody was asked that, have you seen the ruler? Do you know where the ruler is? Usually, the answer would be that the king's in council. But for this particular king, this particular emperor, people always said that the emperor is in his dressing room. That was the difference between him and the rest of the kings. One day, two swindlers, they came to town, thugs basically, and they introduced themselves to the whole of this town as weavers. They said, we are weavers and we are going to make the most glorious, beautiful outfit you have ever seen. And we're going to use the most unimaginable fabrics for this outfit. Now they claimed that not only was this outfit going to be magnificent, but it was also one of a kind. You know why it would be one of a kind? Because it would become invisible to anyone who was unfit for work or who was unusually stupid. I hope you got me. Anyone who was stupid or unfit for work would not be able to see this outfit, basically. The emperor, he was very pleased when he heard this, and he thought that this would be best for me. This is exactly what I need. If I wear this, I will know how many of my people are unfit and stupid, and I could be able to tell the wise people from the fools. So he immediately paid a big sum to these swindlers who posed to be weavers. He said, go, start working on this piece, and I definitely want this from you. Now the emperor got curious after a few days, and he wanted to see how his garment was doing. So what he did is, he sent one of his oldest and most honest, wisest ministers to check on the work being done, because he thought that, because this minister is honest, wise, he's not stupid, and he's worthy of his work, he obviously will be able to see the outfit, the garment. So when the minister reached there, the swindlers, they pretended to be busy working. But you know what? The loom on which this cloth was supposed to be and the fabric was being made, the loom was empty, and the minister could not see anything, neither stitch nor cloth, nothing at all. And this minister, this honest minister, he couldn't believe it. He thought he was wise and honest. So how is it possible that he couldn't see this fabric that is only invisible to fools and stupid people and unworthy people, But he didn't want to disclose this. So he pretended and he said, oh wow, what beautiful work, and absolutely fantastic. And he said, it's a lovely progress. I'm going to go and tell the king. He didn't tell anybody that he couldn't see it. Now, similarly, this happened 2-3 times. Different ministers went in, checked on the work. Naturally, the loom was always empty. There was neither cloth nor stitch. They could see absolutely no thread, no nothing. But they all pretended like they are able to see. And each time a minister went and he reported to the emperor, and he said, "It's fantastic, brilliant work." Now everybody in town was waiting to see this one-of-a-kind piece being done. Finally, the emperor himself wanted to see. So he went to the weavers and he saw them sitting there absolutely doing nothing, pretending to do something. But the emperor was confident that obviously he would be able to see this outfit that was being made for him, right? Again, no thread, no stitch, no cloth. But there were 2 ministers with him and they said, "Oh, look at this, it's so beautiful, what colors, what design." Everybody is imagining this, this drama. It went on for many, many, many days. An entire bubble of lies was created around the kingdom. Now the emperor himself could not actually share that he can't see it because he's the emperor and he can't be the one unworthy of his work or be stupid in the entire kingdom. So he pretended like, of course he can see it, right? So he acted. Now, after all this drama and this lies continued for a long time and everybody was eagerly waiting to see the outcome, the big day came by and there was a procession. And when this procession happened, they came in, these weavers, these thugs, they came in with a so-called outfit and they said, this is the trouser, this is the coat, this is the mantle. They even gave them royal names, all pretentious. Nothing's really there, but this is what they're pretending to have in their hand. And then they undressed the emperor, got him ready, and the emperor was supposed to walk out. He's standing in front of the mirror. They're pretending to make him wear clothes. They're pretending to make him wear a cloak, and the cloak has a train which other 2 people behind him, the robe, other 2 people are pretending to carry that at the back. Although there's nothing in anybody's hand and the emperor has no clothes. But all of this pretense goes on. Then the emperor starts walking out. He walks out, splendid canopy on his head. There's a massive procession. Everybody gathers in the streets to see the emperor. And everybody goes, "Oh, how fine are the emperor's new clothes. Such fantastic new clothes. Don't they fit him to perfection? Do you see how long that train is? Do you see how beautiful his robe is?" So they kept saying how fine are the emperor's new clothes. But in reality, the emperor was wearing absolutely nothing. A little child in the middle of this procession, he came ahead and he just pointed to the emperor and he said, "But he hasn't got anything on." So this little child, he just exclaimed, "But he hasn't got anything on." That's what he said. The minute this child said so, his father got really flustered that, my child will be punished. So he said, I haven't heard anybody saying something as innocent, how childish, and, just forgive him, emperor. But then everybody started whispering. And one person started whispering to the other that the child had said he hasn't anything on. Once this spread, now the whole town started to cry out loud because they all thought that they were the only ones who couldn't see. But actually, no one could see because there were no new clothes. And it took a little child to open everybody's eyes in that moment. The emperor, he shivered. He realized he had been duped. He realized that they were right, that nothing is really on. The emperor has no new clothes actually. But he says that this procession has to go on and he keeps walking on proudly. And the noblemen behind him, holding that train, they're still pretending to hold the train that wasn't there at all. It took a little child to innocently blurt out the very thing many adults saw, but deliberately hid. The purpose of sharing this story is that in leadership positions, many leaders, they start thinking that they are the kings and the queens, they rule, they have title, they have power, they have position. And they may deny it, they may be delusional about it, but you can see superiority in their style of communication or approach. You might be able to sense a sort of egotistical nature or the need to feed their egos with their teams. And you can't miss it. It's there. It's in their communication style. It's in their body language. It could be in how they speak, what they think, how they treat you. But you will see it. And this story is a valuable lesson to understand failures in leadership. It's not about the good things in leadership, but about failures in leadership. So as a leader, I think there are some great lessons to be learned. Top of this list, leaders must be self-aware. A delusional leader will lead a delusional team. Surround yourself with people of integrity, not convenience. Surround yourself with people who have the courage to speak the truth, even when they might feel fear for doing so. A good leader allows their team to speak freely and values opinions even in disagreements. If you are a great leader, your people must not be in a position to fear consequences of speaking their mind at all. It should be something that should come to them naturally, without fearing consequences, without being worried about what happens if I speak my mind. If your focus is adorning yourself with fame and glory and riches, you will often be surrounded by people who use you, not value or respect you. They answer to what you have, not who you are. So focus on having people around you who want to be around you because they value and respect you. They care about who you are, not what you have. Insecure leaders make insecure teams, and eventually they will create an insecure organization. Leaders should appreciate sincerity and clarity for an organization to thrive. Children may be harsh, but they do hold up the mirror better than most adults do. Now, these are some of the key takeaways that I have from The Emperor's New Clothes, because, this entire story of a delusional emperor, a delusional leader, only concerned with himself, too self-absorbed to be bothered about people, wanting to listen to things that please him instead of things that make sense, easily swayed, easily carried away by people who can sweet talk them, manipulate them. At the same time, they seem entitled in their power and position. These are some of the lessons that come to my mind and that I have understood from this story. And I would absolutely love to know from you, what are your key takeaways when you listen to this story? Get in touch with me on Instagram and do let me know what you think. So my precious people, if you enjoy listening to the Life Manifesto and manifesting your life and achieving your dreams, please go ahead and like and rate our podcast. You can also click on the notification bell to get to know as soon as our latest episode drops. Do subscribe to the Life Manifesto. It's going to help us go a long way, and also reach out to like-minded people who want to truly manifest their lives and live the best version of themselves. Meanwhile, do what you love and do it often. And if you don't like something, go right ahead and change it. The power is within you. Thank you for tuning in to the Life Manifesto with me, Zarina. If you find the show useful, then please share it with your friends, family, and co-workers. You never know. You may just help someone become the best version of themselves. And if you want to align your life with some signature masterclasses, certification courses, and live sessions with me, go check out and download my app, Life Manifesto with Zarina Poonawalla, available on Play Store or Apple Store. And if you have any suggestions or anything that you would like to share with me, get in touch with me on my social media handles. I am at Zarina Poonawalla on Instagram and LinkedIn, and at Zarina Speaks on Twitter. See you in the next episode.
Hello. It's been another great week here on the IVM Podcasts Network. On Cyrus Says Cock and Bull, Cyrus, Naveen, Utsav and Abbas discuss how COVID cases are on the rise in Mumbai. Introducing our new show, Intel vPro presents Future Proofing with Eklavya Bhattacharya, your one-stop shop for all things Web3, blockchain, metaverse and so much more. In the first episode, Eklavya talks to Advertising is Dead host Varun Dugirala about advertising on the web. On Simplified, Chuck, Shrikeet and Tony discuss why we aren't excited about smartphones anymore. On Paisa Vaisa, Anupam and Atul Suri, CEO at Marathon Trends, talk about trend investing principles. On Smarter with Sid, Siddharth explains the 3 pillars of content creation. And on All Things Policy, the Takshashila folk analyze the Lancet Commission report on financing primary healthcare. We've got some exciting news for you. IVM Podcasts has just launched its merch, and our first line is out now. Head to the IVM Podcasts website and click on the shop tab to check out our first collection of t-shirts. Do follow us on social media. We are IVM Podcasts on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. And remember, if you're enjoying this show or any of our other shows for that matter, please do tell a friend. Also, don't forget to rate us on any platforms you're listening on. And you can also check us out on YouTube. We're also doing a small listener survey to better understand how you respond to our shows and advertising on the network. We would really appreciate it if you could spare a few minutes to fill it in. It helps us build better shows for you. And finally, we would like to thank our sponsors this week. SBI Life Insurance, Apne Liye, Apno Ke Liye. Jupiter, a digital banking app. Capgemini, get the future you want. Intel vPro, built for business. And Intel, future banao wonderful with Intel-powered laptops.
There's a quick survey to fill out on ivmpodcast.com/survey. It lets us know a little bit more about who's listening to us. And you know what? We're going to do a few prizes. So, we'll do a random drawing of maybe 10 people and we will send you all some swag. Remember, that's ivmpodcast.com/survey where you can fill out the survey.